Good morning across Australia. I'm hoping this is coming through loud and clear. I've had a few issues with some audio technical problems this morning. So it looks like we're finally on there. Just going to wipe my lens here because it looks like it got a bit smudged over the weekend. So a bit bright. There you go. You can see me now. Morning. All right, now you should be able to hear me loud and clear now. Right, let's get going. We're looking at making some social media videos this morning using several tools, Canva, Crello, and InVideo, which are all very, very different approaches to making video, although Canva and Crello are very, very similar. Let's get underway. A little bit about me. I do a lot of stuff. I think you need to do that, to read through all those things that I'm either certified in or a member of. But suffice to say, I do a lot of social media work for myself and for clients as well. So hopefully I can bring you a little bit of value this morning, particularly when it comes to making the most simple kind of social media videos. Now, I do have to say there is a world of non-subscription and non-pay per month options for software and services out there on sites called AppSumo and PitchGround. AppSumo is the one which I tend to use a lot of. AppSumo is a place where if you think of it like Catch of the Day or like a daily deal site, so where there every week is new deals on different pieces of software that come up, and they're often released at a once in a lifetime once-off payment, and you never have to pay again. That's how I've been able to do so many things, like particularly Crello and InVideo as well, both of whom have deals available at AppSumo. Sometimes PitchGround has those as well. So it's definitely worth becoming members of those sites for free, just so you find out what's available from week to week, month to month, and see if there's something which suits what you would like to be able to do. So just a brief overview of the three tools we're looking at today. Canva, you probably know it quite well. It's free to start. It does produce video, not particularly sophisticated video, but it allows you to add animation and movement to your posts and to your graphics that make them an MP4 file. So whilst it's not strictly a video tool, we will look at it this morning as something which is a lot of us seem to use it. I use it. I'm in there every day, multiple times a day using Canva instead of using Photoshop, which is what I used to build all my layouts on. Now, if you do want to upgrade to a lot more stock photography, a lot more features, a lot more templates and stuff, then you can get hold of the paid version of Canva, which paid annually is Australian dollars of $119.40, or you can pay $12.95 month to month. Most of you probably won't ever really need quite that level of Canva, but if you do, it's a really good option for getting just more of those premium details, like premium elements and premium stock photography, and a lot more of the templates. In fact, all the presentations I do here are made on Canva as well. InVideo is a $49 US once off purchase via AppSumo, and that's a lifetime deal. You'll never have to pay for that one again. Now, a lot of people worry and go, oh, what if they go out of business? Well, they've been around probably about 3 years now solidly that I know of. So I don't think they're going anywhere in a hurry, and they seem to be getting lots of people adopting it. And the best thing I've liked about it is they continue to invest in the product and add new services, new templates, and new things as well. And Crello is very similar to Canva. It's a lot more geared towards the animation and video side than Canva is generally. $67 US for a year via AppSumo right now, which is a pretty damn good deal. Works out around about $80 for a year. That's really good for a piece of software you're going to use almost daily. And then you can use it for free basic use at $9.95 US a month. That's what the regular price is as well. Month to month is $9.95 US. So very, very similar to the pricing of Canva, and very, very similar abilities as Canva. Less of the general graphics and more of the kind of graphics you'll do for videos and social media posting, that kind of thing. They're also very, very big on layouts that fit different social media requirements, such as your Instagram posts, stories, the width of a YouTube video, for instance, designing things like posters, thumbnails on YouTube as well. So if that's an interest to you, we'll take a look at that one as well. So first up, let's take a look in Canva. I'm just going to share my other screen now. Hey, my very bright shirt today is standing out very, very strong. We just got these last week, so please excuse me if it's waking you up with the fire of the sun coming through your your screen this morning. Now sharing the other screen. Let's go, is desktop 3. I'll get this together in a second. There we go. Now what you should be seeing is my desktop. Now just let me know, maybe Susan, if you can let me know if you can see Canva right now. So I'm moving it around. I think you can. Thank you very much, Susan. You're my go-to person today to tell me what I'm doing right and wrong. In Canva, it's obviously just it's more geared towards the ability to be able to create a still design. So you go there, you can create an Instagram post. You can pick a bunch of these different templates on the side. Let's just say, this search one. We can put in there, video for social media. We can change anything we want. We can put in these little elements such as, I don't know, like maybe a circle there that we can then drop images into. So we can find a photo. Let's just say of social media. Move this out of the way a little. So today's going to be less about PowerPoint and definitely more about, there you go. So you can drop an image in, you can upload all sorts of stuff in there. But the video feature of Canva comes in what they call their stickers. And you can actually do videos as templates as well. So if we get rid of this one and go back and create something new, I'm just going to type in video. We can actually make a 1920 by 1080 video. So this is the kind of width that will be for, say, YouTube. And it will give us the template, plus it will give us a bunch of video templates in here as well. So if you look at something quite touristy, let's just say this one, show us your best shots. So this gives us a full video that we're able to insert like a proper produced video into with an overlay on top of it. So we could easily change this to something like Sanctuary Cove. And then we can then go have your best life here. And then they will have a bunch of photos, videos that you can then upload. So I can upload my own videos if I've got some. I don't know if I've got a lot of videos out there, but let's just see. I'm going to look for things in here that are MP4s. I recently cleaned out my deleted items, so there might not be a lot in there. Am I nearly there? Nearly there. I downloaded a lot of JPEGs, clearly. That back. So you can find any video you've got on your desktop or you've got on your phone even, and you'll be able to upload those videos into Canva and then create a longer format. Generally though, Canva's very, very good at the short format stuff, not so much long format video. So things you're creating as like movable images for, say, Facebook posts and Instagram posts, rather than something for like YouTube, which actually works far better if you're doing something a little bit longer. So we've got MP3s, MP4s, here we go. So I'm going to throw in a teaser for Spectacular Jumping Crocs. So it's not going to be anything like what we're looking for. As it's uploading that piece of video over on the left, it's giving us a bit of video that we can use here. So I can just pick that up and drag that in there. And as it starts to render, it's also got the audio coming up. So I'm just going to mute that out maybe. So then I can drag around any of the pieces that I want to drag around to where I want them to be. If I wanted a heavier logo in there, let's just say I'll pick up a logo from my logos folder. Now, some of these features I'm using are from the paid version of Canva, which will allow you to do this that little bit more. Let's just grab, say, for instance, that could be, say, my logo sitting up in there. And I can change my words to something like, wow. Change the color of it so it fits something a bit more. And so this becomes like quite the handy little video editor for those very short videos you want to run on something like Facebook and Instagram. So once we do that, it's create a 2-minute 5-length video that I can then download as a video in MP4, or it gives me the option to download it as an animated GIF or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it. So it's definitely a way for you to create very quick videos that come with your stuff that you want to embed in there. So that's one way you can do it. Another way you can create a video through Canva, let me just get out of there, is to create, say, start with creating a Instagram post. Right, so we can start with an Instagram post and we can actually create something that's got a little bit of motion in it. So we can take any one of these here, let's just say, this one's actually an animated post that actually comes with movement already. So you can see it's just created just a tiny little bit of movement, just these little sparks coming out the side of the sausage. And the idea is there just to grab enough attention so you're able to do something, you know, something just grabs attention without being too difficult for you to do. Another idea would be this cat one. So they've done the same similar thing with the little sparks coming away from the cat and movement in that background as well. So they've got a little bit of video movement in there. But if we were just picking up a very, very plain, like one of these, just a quote. Let's just say this is the quote we want to put on there, but we go, it's a little bit boring. It needs a little bit of a lift. You can pick up what are called stickers from the elements over on the left. As we go down, we find stickers, and let's just see all and see what's available. So there's arrows, there's food stickers, there's shapes, there's backgrounds. I could throw this in as a background, for instance. Stretch it right out and then send that using the position to the back. And therefore I've got a now moving background behind it. And as I go to download that, it's going to let me download that as a video as well, or a GIF, an animated GIF. Now GIFs are fairly new to it, animated GIFs, but you can create them. So that allows me to create something which is really kind of out there. Let's just maybe replace that video with this one. This one's probably a little less scary than that stripe that's probably doing strange things to your screen. Send that one to the back as well. And then again, we've got the option to do so many things. But let's just say we don't want to go quite that far. We don't want to, you know, have too much out there stuff. We don't want to cause people to have epileptic seizures as they're watching this. We may want to add just a little bit of stuff. So we can add emojis. But I'm thinking of adding something that's a little bit that fits the theme of what we're looking at here. So we're looking at something like, you know, courage. We're looking at inspiration. So I'm going to add the word inspiration and see what we can find in there. So we've got things like You Go Girl, which might be a cool one. So you can add that, and it adds that little bit of movement to a quote post without going too far. It's enough movement to drag the eye to it, but not so much that you're sitting there going, oh, this looks so crazy and tacky, it's awful. Or you can go something a little bit even more down from that and just add in maybe just, you know, instead of this, you might want to replace it with the bow at the top if you wanted to get something that's a little bit like sort of cute. Have that one sitting at the top, and then it becomes a moving thing. You can then match your colors if you wanted to make it something that sits more within whatever your brand colors are, what the sort of themes are that you go for with what you do and what your brand is. Just going to tone that pink down a little bit. Let's take it up there. There you go. And then you've got something which can fit a very different theme depending on the colors you have and the ideas you have. You could also stick your logo in there if you wanted to. If I go to my logos folder, which I've got a great big lot of them, I can stick in, you know, maybe this was for the AdMade company that I sometimes contract to. So video doesn't always have to be like very full on video like you see on YouTube and Facebook as video. It can be very, very simple. Just a little bit of motion will lift your posts up just that little bit more than just simply having a static image. And it doesn't, as you saw, it doesn't take you any longer to do. In fact, if you set up a brand guide of your own, so you've got certain styles that you work with, just save this as a template and just keep going in there and just type in another one. So you can type in, I don't know, whatever quote you want to do. For some reason, I remember that like biblical quote from when I was a kid. It was like on my bedside table. It's always stuck in there. Don't know where I think Corinthians, I think, something like that. But if you're looking at doing something, like that, this is a really good way of using video in Canva. I'll just do one more example for you in Canva. You can also do things like stories. So you can do them in the formats of Instagram stories and Instagram reels as well. Now, reels, this isn't really the way that reels were meant to be used. It's more so that reels be used as a little bit of fun and not quite so, I guess not quite so professional, but you can still use something. This is 5.9 seconds, which is not quite the length of a reel, which I think is about 30 seconds now. They were 15, they've gone up to 30 seconds now. And not quite the length of a TikTok, which would be about 60 seconds. So you can, stretch these out. It's all going basically on the length of the video you put in the background here. So if I was to put another video in the background there, let's just say, so see, they've got actually videos you can pick up from Canva. If you've got the paid subscription, there are some videos you can throw in there. So if we decide to throw in, say, 11 seconds into the video instead, then it makes it an 11-second video, or 10.8 seconds. So you can add all sorts of things to this, add a little bit of attention, add an element of your choice. Let's just say stickers. And this could be an easy way for you to make some Instagram reels that don't necessarily require you to make funny faces all over them and, be pointing to things like a lot of people in TikTok have done, where they point to words to indicate what their business does. You can get a little bit more creative and just do something which is very you, whatever your business is about. You can throw your particular approach in there. Let's just say you're doing something with Earth Day. There you go, there's the earth jumping. Not everything has to be quite so cartoony. You can go further down here and find examples of things that are not quite so emoji-ish. So we can see a good example would be something like, I remember seeing a whole bunch of these, which are really quite good for people who are in sort of technical, creative, or digital lines of business. So you can throw in there you go, there's a phone. So on that phone, you might want to put in some words such as zero hassles, zero learning curve. And that could be something if you're an accountant, for instance, working with Xero, or a bookkeeper. Okay. Make it a bit bigger so it sits in the middle. And therefore you've got something which is a lot more attention grabbing without you having to spend a lot of time building it. And then I can just replace that background. It still gives me a 10.8 second video, because this little video here is not going to be very long, but the background one would be. I might want to get something a little bit more plain than that though. That's quite a full on one. So maybe we'll get some clouds in the background or something. There you go. And I can take out all those words because they don't really seem appropriate for what we're doing here. And so that's a really good example of something you do in a story or in Instagram Reels, which is going to be that little bit more, I guess, a little bit more, not long format, but also not 5 seconds either. So Canva lets you do a lot of that. It's come a long, long way, and they keep adding a lot more features. If there's one tool, I'd say you buy Canva, because it's just a great tool for building these kinds of videos. Crello, on the other hand, very, very similar, really, really similar. So I used to use Crello a lot more so last year, until Canva sort of picked up the game and added a lot of the features that Crello has as well. But let's just say, for instance, we wanted to create ourselves a, let's see, a Facebook story. So likewise, just like Canva, it's going to give us, it's almost the same, isn't it? Look at it, it's so similar. It'll create a bunch of templates on the side. So the paid version of Crello, it is free to start, but the paid version of it will give you these ones with little diamonds on it. But if you don't, you can have these COVID related ones, which are for free. And there's like a fair range of other freebies as well that aren't necessarily all COVID related, but we can search for, let's just say we are catering food, maybe. There we go, bring up that food. So we can say pull across this one. Now, what you'll notice here is that Crello are very much bigger on creating very ad-like, very real life, very high resolution kind of stuff for their video side. More so the Canva, who is more about really graphic. So if you look at the difference between, you know, the templates available, they're a little less photographic and I've got a lot of like elements on them. So about putting text over the top of things. They are a little bit more cartoony, whereas you find Crello is very much about giving us something which is a bit more video graphic, I suppose. Let's move my zoom thing out of the way. There we go. So you're creating something that looks a bit more like let me make it a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. A little bit more like an ad. So we go 2 subs, 1 free. I can change all the little details such as pricing. And you've already got some bits in there. And they've also put in place, and this is something Canva doesn't do a lot of, is putting in where the swipe up button normally would be. So it's sort of laid out where that would be. So you know, okay, once I put this into my Facebook story or my Instagram story, this is where I expect the swipe up notification to be if it's an ad. If it's not an ad, then you won't get a swipe up button. And then we can change. So this kind of one, if I go to animate it, it also allows me to animate different things within the video. So I can go this thing here, animate, and I want to make it say zoom. So I want to make it delay that zoom by a little bit and go in. So once we do it, we just press play and it'll show us what I just did. So there you go. I do that zoom in. So it's doing a little bit of extra stuff on the where the price is. And then if I can say I want to do something animating the 2 subs, let's go animate. I want to move it in from the left. Let's preview it like that, which it didn't do before. And I can also do the same with my 1 free and bring that one in, say, from the right. So click, animate, and move it in from the right. So let's see what it looks like now. So you've got that little bit more movement going on. So it's a way of creating a lot more things that you'd expect to see in a social media post from a business as opposed to a social media post from an individual. This is one area where Crello does do very, very well. So a reminder, they've got a $67 US dollar 1 year AppSumo subscription right now. That's not a subscription, you just pay it for the 1 year. So it gives you a whole year of it to use it. The $67, which is around about 80-ish dollars Australian. And I've actually got a discount code I'm going to give you a little later on, which is going to get you an extra $10 US off either InVideo and Crello as well. Because I've got a account with AppSumo, and you will too, and you have one that gives you the opportunity to share a code and get your friends $10 off. So that's one idea we can use for Crello. Let's just say try and do something like the wrong tool. Here we go. We can look at doing a Instagram story or maybe a square video post, something like Facebook. So it's going to give us again a whole bunch of these ideas we can look at. So you can create informational kind of stuff, advertising kind of stuff, or you can create something which is just all about the sort of things you do. And now you'll notice there's a lot more freebies in this one because, let me just put this one in as an example. Because this is a much more common format, the square format. So there's a lot more of them in there. So I might want to change that color because it's not really one of my colors. Let's say orange because I'm wearing a very bright orange shirt today. The video in there. So they've also got videos that I can click on, and there's going to be a whole bunch of stock videos in here that you can pick from. So I can put coffee. Let's just say you're a cafe. I want to see one being filled. Come on, here we go. It's dragging across there and saying, what do you want to do? Do you want to use 20 seconds of this video, or do you want to use a little bit less? Facebook ads are generally for stories, they're about 15 seconds. So I want to make sure I only have 15 seconds. There it goes. And now I'm just going to arrange that so it sits in a particular area of the video that I want it to. Bigger. And I can go in over the side because that's about where it sits. I might want to send that back. So then it becomes the new main video of this particular post. There we go. And if we play this one, we can see now that we've created a video with a logo, with a coffee being filled up. We can even change those words and say, so now we've got ourselves a little video ad that's got some motion on it. For people who love coffee, they'll look at that and go, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind one of those, thank you. And you put in any message you like. In fact, if you want to add another object in there, they've also got a bunch of objects just like Canva. So they've got shapes and lines and stars and arrows. They've got little gradients, emojis and reactions, badges. So if we add the new collection badge that they've put together. And we can then match that more to what our colors may be. So you can see there's tools that allow you to make these things. Just, I guess the only limit is your own creativity and what you think might look good or might work for you. And they're in, less than 60 seconds of total work time, we could actually come up with something really quite impressive that could be used to promote your business. So what I'm going to give you the opportunity to do now, we're going to do this in Crello and might even do it in Canva as well. If you can put down in the chat window an example of the kind of business that you do. So I'm going to try and cover everybody off. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people currently on the call. So please just put in the chat window what your business does, and we'll see if we can create a little video in Canva and Crello that sort of suits that before we go off into InVideo, which is a little bit more complex, only just, but it has a lot more possibilities as well. So we've got a not-for-profit community group working for social cohesion. All right, so let's give that one a go in Canva, for instance. We're going to make ourselves an Instagram. I'm going to make a video, actually. So video, it's going to be a 1920 by 1080, which is a 1080p video. And for not-for-profit, we may put, so for social cohesion, we might try this one here because it just kind of looks cool. Here you go. So I'm just going to put something like bring together. Going to get a photo of let's just say a Chinese man. If I spell that right. Just look for a video. So the whole idea, we're going to bring together 2 different kinds of people. And we're going to show this one as an elderly woman. I find there's some in here as well. I need to drag her across a bit because it's not quite shown the way I wanted to. There we go. And so immediately I can then put on whatever your brand happens to be and say, okay, let's just say if for my logos, let's just pick up Regional Development Australia, perhaps. So that could be your logo down the bottom. This now becomes a little video that we can use. Let's play that. So you can see the possibility of creating something that's quite attention grabbing, shows what you're doing. And of course, you're able to upload your own videos there too. So I'm just using stock videos that are included as part of Canva, but you can actually bring in your videos. So if you've got videos of events, of clients, of your team, all that sort of thing, there's so many different ways to do this. Now, the other thing is too, that you don't have to have just this as the video. You can add a second scene to it. So the second scene, let's pick up that same template where they've got the same stuff in here. Let's pick social cohesion, pick some more videos. Let's just say, let's have a festival. Again, my spelling. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? So I've got a little bit of photo of some festival stuff going on. And I'm going to put a photo of disability in there so we can actually show a little bit of diversity. So again, we've got this bit. It's going to play this first scene, play out to the length of those videos. And then at some point, very, very shortly, this is going to cut over to scene number 2, which is here. So you start to see some real possibilities, and this one's just in Canva. Canva's come a long way when it comes to video. They didn't used to do video at all, and then they sort of blasted into it earlier this year. So they gave us 23 seconds of video there we can use as much longer format. It does have its limits, of course. You can't go, infinitely long half-an-hour videos, but allows you to do, say, some really cool videos that you could do in your Facebook cover photo or your LinkedIn cover video, where you can create a video in there instead of just a plain graphic. So that'll be, you can have a lot of fun doing that. Similarly, Crello will do the same thing. Let's just say for somebody who's in health and well-being. So we'll go, here's a full video in Crello. I'm going to look for a template which is to do with health, which is going to throw up nothing but coronavirus, I'm sure of it. Let's just go. This one's about relieving stress and anxiety. So let's see what this comes up like. So they've done some really, really creative stuff. So say if you've got a yoga studio, and then if I look for an object, an animation. So let's look for an animation, say yoga. And they've actually got some animations made especially just for yoga. So I've made ourselves a little video with a little bit of motion, just enough to make it like a really just cool, but not over the top. So it's going to look a lot more interesting when it comes up than say something which is coming up as just a plain image. It's just going to lift it just a little bit further along. So now we've seen what Crello looks like. We've seen what Canva does. They do very, very similar things, and Canva I'm actually surprised with. It's become really good at video. It didn't generally do it very well before. So they've come a long way this year. And a good Aussie company too, formed in Perth originally, now based in Sydney. InVideo is more about multi-scene, multi-elements, a lot of motion going on that allows you to make stuff in very, very short amount of time. But it's got a very cool little extra feature that allows you to convert things like a blog into a video. So for something that's a little bit longer, it's going to be very, very handy and very useful. So let's just start off with making a Facebook newsfeed video. And in here, it's giving us a whole lot of things we can start with. Now, we can do something like imagine you have this as a testimonial on your page rather than just the words. So we can go, okay, let's make a testimonial. It has music already built into it. It has motion, videos, backgrounds, different elements you can throw in over the top. You can also add multiple music tracks. It's just showing us now. It's a brand new feature. It's got a music track already in there. I'm just going to take that out because it doesn't kind of carry very easily through Zoom. It actually sounds kind of crappy. If I was to throw in, say, in my uploads, I might have a logo that I can throw in the corner there. So in this case, it was Spectacular Jumping Crocodiles, who's actually a tour company that we work with in the Darwin region. And then we can throw in the video in the background there. So it says, do I want to replace that background? Yeah, I do actually. So replacing it with this new one. And then I can go, okay, this person is, that could be the person who did the review. I can type the review over the top of it. So you can put in the review that someone wrote. And I'm going to put it over here because this particular video is very, has a lot going on the left. And then we're going to put the logo over on the left. So as we play this one to see what it looks like, now we see. So this is going to look way, way better than just typing in a review from someone randomly. This is showing motion. It's showing the words that are coming up. It just took me what? About a minute, less, or just a little bit longer than a minute to put that together. So the idea is pretty much limited only by the material that you already have to work with. So you've got material you can work with, you've got video that you can add in, you've got graphics and photos and logos that you can add into anything you need to. And then makes the process of this really, really simple. Now, this is a much more, so not complex, but it just has a lot more options that you can play with. So for instance, you can play with all these different layers over here and then change things like, you know, the color background of the text. So once I go in the layers, I'd click edit to edit that layer. What's the style? I want to change the font. So it gives me all the fonts that I can use. Almarai instead. That's the one I want to use. Yeah, it's a bit better. I can make it bigger. I can make the line height a bit different. Align the text differently, even change the color of the text. So at the moment the text is black, but the box is white. I can change that box to yellow so it fits the theme of the client. I just have to type it in. There we go. And that gives me then that yellow background. I then go in there and make that box bigger, and it automatically makes everything in it bigger. So you can play around with a lot of those different things. And then when I've finished doing that, I want to add on another scene perhaps. So I'm going to add a new scene, just build my own. So this is going to add a second scene on the end of the one I already did. And what I want to put in that scene is probably nothing to do with that. I'm going to grab some other stuff, which are in my uploads. This guy here, drag it in here. It's going to naturally put it there. So what I'm going to do is stretch it out so it actually fits the whole area. It's just taking a while to get itself in. There we go. Center it. And then so this scene looks like. Spectacular jumping crocodile cruise in magnificent surroundings. So that's got a full TV ad that was made for them. So I can take that and go, well, that's great, but I don't want any sound. I want to take the audio out so that when I go to play it now, it won't play into that audio. So you've got a lot more options in there that allow you to do stuff which is a lot more, a lot shorter, I suppose. Now I also want to cut that down because I don't want that full lot of that video. I just want the bit where it opens up and goes, you know, whoosh. There you go, and it ends. So now if I want to see what the whole video looks like, so it's about 17 seconds long, I'm going to export. This is going to give me the ability now to see a preview of what the whole video is going to look like. So it's actually starting to render at the moment. It's going to take a little bit longer before it allows me to do it. And I'll be able to download it once it's actually complete. So while that's working away in the background, we can go and create something else. And we'll play that one soon. So you can start off with blank templates as well. But one of the features I really enjoy about InVideo is the ability to be able to take your blog and do this, what is called text to video. So I'm going to pop in to my website. I'm going to pick out a blog entry from it, and we're going to turn that into a video. So let's say insights and resources for news. The latest blog post I did was how to make your website work better on mobiles. So I've got all that information there, and it's going to take that address. And what it's going to say is, what do I want to create my video as? Maybe a YouTube video? Well, let's try that. What do I want the basis of it to look like? Probably this one. Looks good. Now let's see what it does with it. Now it's saying I can add the script, or I had a headline, or I can add an address to the page. So it'll pick up the stuff off the page. Or I could start with things like videos and photos that I've got and turn that into something. So rather than the script, I'm going to go straight with the address. And I'm going to go fetch all the information off that page. This is a really handy way of taking what you've already done and repurposing it for something else. So it's taken all that information, right? I can tell it to auto summarize it, to use a bit of AI and say, this is what I want you to choose. Or I can then take bits and pieces of it and transfer it over to the right to my scenes. So I'm going to auto summarize it, and it's going to now take it in pieces. It's still way too long. So I might want to go mobile website. I might redone your seeing consumption. I'm going to take out all the info and just leave just the points. Shorter sentences. Take out this one. I just want my dot points. There we go. So it's not going to make a lot of sense. Like yours is obviously going to be based on what your information is and how long you want to do it for. They're just using all those dot points, now getting rid of all these. And then I'm going to go to my storyboard. It's going to build a plan out for me for how it's going to look. And in that plan, I'm going to assign different things like different videos and photos to go in the background, what I want those photos and videos to do. It's going to let me change the style of text. And what we might also do is pop back into InVideo to see how the other video is going that we did before, just while this is starting to do its bit. So I can always pop into my projects as a list. So it's automatically gone there. This one here is still processing, so I have to leave that one a bit longer. Come on, here we go. So it's automatically created a bunch of stuff and put photos in and videos in that it thinks are suitable to the words I put on there. So I can see any one of those scenes. So the opening scene maybe will look like this. Come on, let's play. Any second now. So that'll be an opening scene followed by the first bit of content. So it's kept the same music throughout it. And so I can do is go in there, okay, websites may people view on handheld devices like mobile phones. I just might go, you know, I don't like that particular image. I want to get something else. So I might type in here and go mobile phone and pick up a video of someone using a mobile phone. So this dark one here. So I'll say, how much do I want to use of that? 9 seconds. Let's just say 6 at the tops. It puts that video in. I'll take that video out. So now it just uses this one. So some of these ideas might seem quite familiar because this is a large way of how a lot of informational videos will do, like people who are putting, did you know, videos or how-to videos. I'll often put these little pieces of stock footage in there with it. We move on then to the first question, which is, what then the most important factors to nail down your website? So we can look for the word important. Or we can ask question. So we can have those question marks in the background. So I'm going to replace the one that's already there. I don't really want that to last that long, so I'll put it down to 5 seconds. Otherwise we're going to get way too long a video. Bang. Let's just see what that looks like. So you're starting to see how this now comes together. This one with a website, I'll just look for, okay, it's about a website. Let's just look at websites. So we go, here's someone designing a website. Yeah, let's just try that one. Again, we don't really need that much of it, say 5 seconds. So we're starting to see a really cohesive video that allows us to have little scenes that make sense. Now, obviously, if you want something that's got a local flavor to it, you'd add your own videos and your own photos. In fact, you can add images in there. You don't have to have a video. So I'm just going to add a photo, for instance, of Perth. Oops, that's not how you spell Perth. Any second now. Okay, here's some photos of Perth around Elizabeth Quay. That one looks good. Let's try that one. All right, so in that photo, I can then edit that to make it fit better. So it's saying, what do I want to do with this? I might want to go, you know what, I really like that image, but I want it to fill the screen. I don't want to have this letterbox format on the sides. So I resize it. I'm going to crop the screen so it fills it all out. So that way I've now got, save, something which fills that area. Now at the moment, it doesn't do anything. It just sits there static. Oh, it's actually zooming in, so that's even nice. So it allows you to still have some movement without you having to necessarily have a video background. So if you don't have a lot of videos and you want to sort of add a few little bits and pieces in, you can do like that. And shorten to the point, we can go short. Are there any images of something that's short? Not really. I guess I don't want to put a photo of a short person in there. Writing. So we're talking about articles. Let's put something about writing. Put that one in the background. And because these are still images, you're not having to scroll, crop them down to a shorter length. And again, we've got that whole thing where it's going to do a little bit of zooming. So if I want to preview the whole thing now, we're going to probably see the first maybe minute of this. So just bear with me. That might not come through too well with the noise of the sound. Let's give it a go. So you're starting to see that it's actually built the rest of that video around the script that it pulled from my blog entry, all on its own. And as I go down, it fills out more and more and more and more stuff. So you just go through, basically check to see if what it's done is good or not. The other thing you can do at the very beginning of all this is you start off with a script and you actually just take out the bits you really want to put in there and remove the things you don't. And then that way you're creating something. There's also an advanced editor that allows you to go a lot more deeply into each scene, like you do with the normal videos we're making. But the storyboard version is actually probably the fastest way you're going to be able to build something, which is converting. Now, if you're like me, you've written hundreds and hundreds of blogs in your time, you've got tons of them to work from, then this could be a real way of you saying, finally I can take my blogs and do something more with them. That whole magical thing of repurposing, creating a new video from them. So InVideo is a very impressive tool, particularly with that tool. So just going back into the front of it, you'll be able to watch our jumping crocodiles thing in a second. Using the text to video tool, there's not many other tools that do this. I think with maybe 2, and certainly not at this price. So you got that text to video option, allows you to finally make stuff from your blogs, which is for YouTube, for Instagram posts and Instagram TV, for longer things, even short-term videos like your TikToks and stuff like your, what's the other one? Instagram Reels. That's the one I was thinking of. That allow you to make those shorter videos as well. So you can, the world is your oyster with all this. There's so many options you can play with, so many things you can do to make it a really fun experience. And you can add just that extra element of motion and color and movement to your post, rather than just having yet another Canva graphic. Go into Canva, create something that's a video. It's even got, if you want to make a LinkedIn video ad, they go into quite a lot of detail, the kinds of videos you may want to create. Even Byte, which is like a competitor to TikTok, gives you then the right format for a mobile video. There you go. It's already set out at 5 seconds because Byte is only 5-second video. It's very, very short. And then we just find what template suits what we're going to do. So you can imagine if we do this one, you just reply that, put that with your name in there. And I put a video of me in there rather than the video of Jackie. So if I found a video of me doing something, yeah, I'll find that. I don't have a lot of videos of me, but I can put anything I like, really. Let's just pick out a photo of a lovely girl with the sunlight in the hair. And then you've got a video. So that's a 14.5-second video. If I wanted to cut that down, I just simply have to make the video a shorter video. And better still, take a video that is actually of 5 seconds of me. Use your own video where you can. Using other people's video, it may look more professional, but it won't be very personal. It won't be very you. It won't be very, what's the word they use these days? Authentic. It won't be very authentically you. So where you can, use your own. Crello, similarly again, just take what's there and make it your own. So we're looking to create an Instagram post. It'll show you what the shape of an Instagram post looks like. Then you take your templates. There's a whole bunch of paid ones. There's a great coffee one. We talked about coffee before. I don't think a caramel coffee is going to cost $2.99 in this country. $5.99 more like it. And then we can go, maybe if pink's not your color you want to have in the background, you want to have like a more of a coffee color. Try a new flavor, pull that out so it looks a little bit brighter. And then you have an ad. So that one's just a plain graphic. But if you want to make that have a little bit of animation to it, we could take the caramel coffee, animate it so it moves in from the bottom. Make the try new flavor come in from the top. And suddenly we have a video. And I might want to make all these sort of flash about a bit. So animate, I'm going to zoom this one out or in. And the 99 you can also zoom in, and the dollar can move up here. So it doesn't look so silly. And animate a dollar. Come on. Here we go. So now I create a video, whereas previously it was just a still image. Again. So it's going to grab that little bit of extra attention when someone first comes along your post that you otherwise wouldn't have. And even though this has got a lot of text on it, a video is always going to sit better in a feed on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, sorry, Facebook, not so much Instagram, but definitely on Facebook and on LinkedIn than a regular graphic post would. So if you want to do something, particularly if it's an ad or something like that, try to do video where you can, because it's just going to convert better. Every campaign I ever ran in last 5 years, if I've had video as the ad instead of just a graphic or a photo, it's always done way, way better. It's just a matter of finding tools that will allow you to do video in an easy and simple manner, rather than having to obsess over things like Adobe Premiere and Adobe Photoshop and stitching everything together with Adobe Bridge. And they're also very expensive pieces of software that you have to subscribe to for years and years and years. And the learning curve is actually quite huge with them. As you saw here, yes, I know how to use these, but I also have not used this Crello tool in about 3 months, and I still retained enough to be able to easily work around it. InVideo I use probably once or twice a month, but I bought it for $49 once off through AppSumo, so it was definitely worthwhile, if for nothing else, but for this text to video feature where I create a video version of my blog posts and then even localize them if I wanted to into something that makes a lot more sense to my local market. So what I probably need to do for you, if I stop sharing this screen, is now give you the ability to be able to get a discount when you go to AppSumo to buy either Crello or InVideo. So when you get to AppSumo, it's appsumo.com, APPSUMO.com, and that will give you the option to be able to get yourself a membership there. And then you join for free, and then you look at the things you want to purchase when you want to purchase them. I'll just quickly pop on here. There we go. There's a few different things that allows you to do it. $49 once off gives you 30 videos a month, over 1,200 templates, up to 10 minutes each. So it's not something to build a 1 hour long family reel, but it's definitely something you can build something for YouTube, which 10 minutes is the optimum length for getting engagement on YouTube. And this code here, what I'll do is that I'll copy and paste that into the chat window so you can copy and paste it. So it's fby.me/v/Darwin_37. So that's the link there. You can use that. Sorry, it's going to say F by me. Sorry. So fbuy.me. Spell correct. Spell checker just completely butchered that. .me/v. You think I make it a lot easier to understand than this? It's so like such a weird code. There you go. If you copy that in at the point of purchasing, you'll get an extra $10 US off your InVideo or your Crello purchase. Canva, I don't have a code for, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd happily give you that as well. But Canva is just a little bit cheaper and in Aussie dollars as well. So you don't have that currency conversion mess that quite often our banks do. I do so much purchasing of foreign stuff that I have to use an ING direct account. So they rebate me the foreign currency conversion fees. If you want to find out anything more about using these video tools, or you'd like to ask a question, or you get stuck on it, or you need to be reminded of anything, please feel free to drop me an email, dante@treaty.com.au. You can get hold of me there. I'll just add that back in again. And then you can just copy and paste that from the chat window. In the meantime, though, I really do hope you have a great week. It's a very good start to a Monday. Hope you learned something today that you can apply to your business. Especially when it comes to stepping up and going from making basic graphics for your posts and going to something a little bit more complex, but also gives you the reward that video gives you, which is greater engagement, far better reach, and it makes you look a whole lot better at what you're doing as well. So thank you again, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon.